Bad news for Big Pharma as they lose out on some big money. And this is something that would have been absolutely preposterous to think about just a few years ago. But here in 2023, we're looking at Pfizer now cutting people off as their stock absolutely plummets.
Pfizer making some headlines over the weekend after slashing full-year revenue guidance by 13% on Friday. The pharmaceutical giant said that dwindling demand for COVID-19 vaccines and treatments were responsible for the updated guidance. For more on this, we want to bring in Les Funtleiter, E Squared Capital Management's healthcare portfolio manager. He's here to weigh in on everything we're hearing. And Les, this was kind of the miracle vaccine that people were waiting for back in 2020. But I guess the answer is now that people aren't worried about this. There's a lot more natural immunity out there. And as a result, there's far less demand. What do you think in terms of what this means for the stock?
For the stock, I think the direction of travel is still either down or flattish. I guess this earnings cut was sort of telegraphed. I think we were all waiting for it. But I guess it's good that they've come out and finally admitted sort of the obvious. I would say it's actually great that we don't need as many treatments or vaccines as you alluded to, because there's less COVID around, as it appears.
I wonder why people don't want these shots anymore. Do you have any guesses? And did you see that chart of Pfizer stock shares? Man, that thing dropped like a rock, huh? Kind of like how Pfizer plans to cut jobs worth billions of dollars. You see, even though they're supposed to be part of why COVID isn't around as much anymore, or at least not talked about as much, people were not happy with what the drug promised compared to what it actually delivered. So their CEO, though, that Albert Bourla guy, he says that the United States is just in a state of COVID fatigue with people wanting to forget about this whole disease. Tell you what, we're objective minds, right? Do you think that sort of rejection of this vaccine is due to people wanting to forget about the C-19 virus? Or does it have more to do with the actual effects? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And while you guys are there, make sure to smash the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications. That way you guys don't miss out on any of these updates that relate to all of us. Appreciate the love, you guys. But getting back on topic, guys, I have a feeling that Bourla guy, again, Pfizer CEO, had a feeling that their shares would be down as the demand waned with time. I mean, heck, if I didn't know any better, I think that this guy had a crystal ball or something, because he knew that people would get tired of the C-19 vaccines, and this is why he wanted it to be mixed with the flu shot. You know, the flu shot, right? The shot that most people all over the globe get because it's been tested. I guess it would make sense that Bourla would say something like this a few months ago when he was asked about the frequency of these C-19 jabs.
Are we going to have to get it every year, or are you developing something that might actually last longer?
Yeah, it doesn't last the current ones, and also doesn't last the disease. For example, if you get disease, you can get disease again after 3 months. With the same even variant, not even absent a change of the variant. That's why it's very difficult for this virus to eradicate. I don't think it will. But we are working to see if we can get an annual vaccine. An annual vaccine will be ideal because people will remember, they can do it with other vaccinations like flu, and can last.
Okay, flu, you raised it. Yeah. Where are you in developing? Because I think that's what you were originally doing with BioNTech. You were developing mRNA for flu. Where are you on a flu vaccine based on mRNA?
Oh, the studies are running. They have completely recruited. We are waiting for cases as they accumulate. Means that people have been vaccinated, placebo, vaccine, and then the disease, some of them will get disease, and then we are waiting to unblind the data to see what is coming. I think will come in this year, in 2023.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, you can't guarantee a timeline depending on the clinical trials.
No, but
your best guess, what would you think?
I think by the first half of the year, maybe.
First half of the year?
Yeah, June, July.
Wow. And so how far are we away from one vaccine that's both COVID and flu together?
First, we need to have a flu. And if we have a flu, already we started experiments to combine the two so that we don't lose time again. I think we'll come more or less all together if it is successful.
It's like saying, did y'all like that first jab? Wait until you try our new 2-in-1, folks. You gotta realize, if this actually goes through, that stock of theirs, that will skyrocket once again. Like I said, a lot of people, they get an annual flu shot. That means that Pfizer will actually be able to make money off those same shots. And this is exactly why Pfizer's losing out big. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying go out there and buy or even sell Pfizer stock. I'm not saying any of that. But did you guys know that only 7 million Americans have gotten the latest C-19 shot? I mean, compared to the total population of our country, that checks out to be around like 2% of Americans.
We have about 60 plus million people in the country who are eligible for vaccinations who have not yet been vaccinated.
Let's call the future of COVID uncertain. New York Times columnist David Leonhardt has noticed a troubling trend. He writes this, quote, "The gap in COVID's death toll between red and blue America has grown faster over the last month than at any previous point. The immunity from vaccination appears to be much stronger than the immunity from infection, which means that conservative Americans will probably continue to suffer an outsized amount of unnecessary illness and death. Indeed, to put a finer point on it, the death toll in some red Trump counties is over 3 times higher than blue counties where vaccination rates are higher." With more, we're so happy to have back with us tonight Dr. Nahid Bhadia, an infectious disease physician, founding director of Boston University's Center for Emerging Infectious Diseases Policy and Research. Doctor, I said before the break, this was probably inevitable, no less heartbreaking. Talk about this contagion of the anti-vax community and how it's not stopping at just the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, Brian, I think that you've seen increasing anti-vax sentiment even before the COVID pandemic. In fact, in 2019, WHO ranked, vaccine hesitancy as a top 10 issue globally.
Man, guys, this is a long way down compared to their glory days, huh? And I want you to notice something very peculiar with the messaging that these companies are sending. They're worried about profits. I mean, it's clear as day. All they want to do is inject you with these drugs and make money. Not once have I actually felt any like warm sincerity, of them not wanting us to be sick. I didn't personally feel that. If you feel differently, let me know. Now, I'm sorry if that might upset some people, but you've seen the footage. You know what this is all about. At the end game, this is all about dollars. Now, you might think that I'm just some dude on YouTube hating on them for some odd reason. And no, of course not. I've shown time and time again through this channel the effects of some of these jabs. And like I always say, you are free, 100% free to do whatever you want to do with your body. And that's 100% your choice. And it should always be that way. But if anybody wants some data regarding the outcomes of these jabs on different people, that information is out there as well. And I didn't go out and tell 98% of the population to say no to the jabs this time around, right? Although it would be great to get almost 300 million views on just one video, because that would break the internet. But I don't think the truth is out there like that, I'm not the guy that promised false hope during the health crisis. I wasn't the guy who told you that these jabs prevent transmission when they didn't. I wasn't the one that made so many different people grow fearful of their products. All of this is happening because of what they did, not because of anything we did. So yes, expect Pfizer to hurt just a little bit as they cut on their costs and their workers. Now, I gotta ask you guys, do you feel sorry for Pfizer? I'm talking about the company, all right? Obviously, we feel sorry for the employees being let go. I really want to know what you guys think about this. And before I go, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the next one.